Danny Ceballos, he drinks Australia, eats paella, and hopefully he's going to have a massive influence on the Arsenal team sometime soon.
Welcome back to Gooner Fanzine TV. Well, we've made our triumphant return to the Galazio studios. We're here to talk all things Arsenal again with Layth, a worse for wear Sergio BM, and Dan the man, Mountney.
I mean, they could just see it. Look at you. Look at you.
They could draw their own conclusions.
Your eyes are barely open.
Boys, this week we've agreed that we will talk about Mesut Ozil. He's been the subject of some heated debate on this podcast a few times.
Is that why Glenn's not here?
yeah, we had to sideline Glenn for this one.
Sorry, Glenn.
Sorry, Glenn. Dan, I'll come to you first. Obviously, his form's really poor. I know you had a few stats.
Well, I've got some stats to show you just how poor his form is. I'll go with this one first. I'm going to read word for word so I get it right. Mesut Ozil's last assist away from home for Arsenal was on the 30th of January 2018 against Swansea. Guess what happened the day after that assist?
Signed his new contract.
He did indeed.
Wow.
That says it all. Yeah. Well. And in the past season and a half, so last season and this season, he's got 5 assists in 54 games, which works out as an assist every 10.8 games. Jesus. And the amount of money he's on, it's not good enough, is it?
From
basically?
the assist king.
The king of the assist. It's not good enough, is it?
No. That is dreadful.
Yeah.
Wow. We know it's bad, but
it's sort of crept up on us as well, hasn't it? Really, we sort of just gradually.
I disagree. We've been complaining about it for ages. And Glenn's been sitting there backing his corner, and we've all said, look, we never see enough from him.
Yeah,
we always hear complaints about him being sort of lackadaisical, slow to come back, never defending. Not really ever like pushing forward either. He just looks like a bit listless.
And we all got behind him with the Emery thing. Everyone was saying, oh, he's got to play him. Why isn't Emery playing him? Okay, so a new manager's come in who seems to back him. What's the problem now?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he ran around to great effect a couple of times under Freddie.
And a couple of good runs.
That's more than you do.
Yeah, to be fair. And then he had that stop before Freddie's last game. I can't remember.
It was City at home, wasn't it? Where he volleyed his gloves.
Yeah, and it could have turned into a Xhaka situation as well, but. Thankfully, he showed a bit of pace and got off the pitch relatively fast. But
still not fast enough.
No, absolutely, yeah. And it's just, he's obviously, he showed a bit of willing to start with again. But I mean, I did a tweet yesterday. Joe Willock obviously came on for Ozil at Burnley, which was the same substitution that was made in the Europa League final in Baku. And I just did a tweet basically saying Ozil was anonymous in Burnley as he was in Baku. That's like 9 months ago. And that Dan said about his stat and Serge as well. It's like, it's just not good enough. And I don't know what else he can do. He's still got 18 months left on his contract. So what's going to happen? Unless Arsenal can get him on loan to someone in the summer and that club pays a massive whack of his wages. But you still, I mean, what club's
going to do that though?
Exactly. What club's going to pay 175 grand of 350?
Anywhere he moves, he's going to have to take a massive pay.
Like Sanchez he's paying half the wage.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
they're paying 175 grand for him.
Yeah, but he's done.
He's a terrible player, but he's probably still more useful to them than Ozil is. Because Ozil he's a luxury player.
Yeah.
But the rest of your squad is firing on all cylinders and are really good. He's the perfect sort of passer of the ball. It's undeniable skill there, but. He's not a player that we currently need because he's not really showing enough intent.
Yeah.
I mean, Dan, we'll just we'll focus in on the Burnley performance, just to sort of figure out what's actually wrong. You gave him a 4 in your player ratings. What was that based on?
Just not doing anything.
Yeah,
it was just as Layth said.
I thought the 4 was kind.
It was.
I gave him
really?
3.
Did you? Well, he was completely anonymous. Like the one thing he's really good at is finding the pockets of space, and he linked play quite well. But if there's no end product, what's the point? You're paying him that kind of money to be the chief creator, basically, and he's not doing it. Another thing, obviously, Mikel Arteta is, I don't want to dig him out in any way, but he said at his first press conference, he's going to be a key player for us and I can get the best out of him. Obviously, we're, 9 games into his reign, relatively short frame of time, but I don't, by the looks of it, I don't think he's going to get the best out of him personally. He's now 31, his best years are behind him, basically. And you mentioned about, a club's not going to take his full wages. I think just get rid of him at all costs, basically. Because Arteta's, on deadline day, there was a Qatari club that came in for him and offered to pay his full amount of wages. But, Arsenal obviously had a short amount of time to find a replacement, and they didn't think it was a viable option to get rid of him then. But I think just at all costs get rid of him, because Arteta's clearly, he's got a long-term project, he's planning for the future. I don't see him being part of the future. Basically, as I say, he's 31. He's not got many years left. He's got 18 months left on his deal now.
Yeah.
So it's just
has this recent run sort of made that opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate the fact that he's putting more effort in. I'm not going to slag him off for that. It's good to see that he's running around a bit more. And helping the team out where he can, but he's just got to do more going forward, basically.
Yeah,
Burnley was his 250th appearance.
Yeah,
and that's there's a lot of appearances. It's up there in the sort of Arsenal history, but I don't really remember that many performances that really stand out as wow in the past year and a half.
Yeah.
It's been seriously lacking. I know players go through bad shapes of form, but it's not just bad shape of form. I mean, he might be a victim of circumstance in terms of the players around him aren't sort of aiding his sort of positional play, but it's just not helping the team at all.
Yeah. To be fair to him, he had that one season where he was absolutely brilliant, wasn't he? Got 18 assists in the Premier League, but he had 15 by Christmas, and he just completely tailed off.
Yeah.
It's just the story of his career. He's just not done enough at Arsenal, has he?
Yeah, I mean, both of you make a series of really good points there. Just in terms of Ozil, when he was signed, so he was signed in September or late August 2013, and his first couple of months, he was brilliant. It was. I keep saying it in sort of. Just when I talk to people, and obviously I've written about it as well, the Napoli game in the Champions League was the benchmark in October 2013.
Superb, wasn't he?
Arsenal only won 2-0, but he absolutely bossed that game. I remember watching it just going, this is what he should do. This is why we signed him. This is what he should be doing every week, basically. Yeah. And then that was it. I mean, he like I say, he tailed off after Christmas that season, never really recaptured those sort of heights. It was the Leicester game last year on the Monday night. Arsenal won 3-1. He had an absolute stormer again and did an assist and just bossed the game again. But that's 2 games I can think of in 4 or 5 years. Yeah. It's just not good enough, basically.
And it's not like he's fading or anything. We saw in the Liverpool 5-5 had a good game there, didn't he?
Yeah, against admittedly it was
Liverpool's
of
reserves,
but he did have a good game.
He was bright. You could see that he still got it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. But if you're playing against 18-year-olds,
of course. Yeah.
If he played like
I think he's still got it.
If he played like that against Liverpool's first team, I'd be like, do you know what? You need to keep him.
Do you think he hasn't still got it? Do you think it's a decline, or do you think?
I don't think he ever had it. To be fair, not Arsenal.
Arsenal.
He's a World Cup winner. He's played for Real Madrid, this, that, and the other. But what has he ever done for Arsenal consistently, week in, week out, to make him even an Arsenal great, let alone a great player? And I know Dan's saying, "Oh yeah, we get him out in the summer." I completely agree, but it's easier said than done. They're probably trying to get him out for a year at least. And what can we do?
They've put themselves in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
The increase that Wenger gave him at the end of his tenure was obviously to try and keep him. That's really scuppered any opportunity we've had to really get rid of him quick.
Yeah, well, I remember that Swansea game. It was like a Tuesday night or something. It was hammering it down with rain. Arsenal played dreadfully, lost 3-1. And it was deadline day the next day, and I remember being in a hotel in Swansea just doing all the deadline update stories and everything, and it was all coming through about Ozil signed this new deal after Aubameyang signed, and you're like, where's this money coming from? Why are Arsenal suddenly cash rich and splurging money on stuff that they wouldn't have done 2 or 3 years prior to that? Was it Wenger just going, well, this is the last throw of dice? Was it the club going, we need to spend some money to placate fans? Was it just like, we've got money, let's go mad? I don't know what it was, but I remember seeing it all come through, and I'm just like, what on earth is going on? They're still ruining that. They've still ruined that decision. Those decisions, basically.
Well, they basically in that situation they kept Ozil because they had him and Sanchez in the same situation. They didn't want to lose their basically 2 star players.
They were worried about fan backlash. Really.
Yeah, but then they pay him that amount. They pay Ozil that amount of money. Obviously, let Sanchez go. But then they bring in Aubameyang and pay him loads of money. That's fair enough. He's proved his worth. But no disrespect to him. But Mkhitaryan the same. We're still paying him despite the fact he's out on loan. He's on over 100k a week. That January put them in such a difficult situation. They're still feeling the effects of that now.
Yeah, absolutely, completely agree. And also, it was like for years Wenger had said there was no money. We're not going to splash out on older players. We're focusing on youth. We want young players. Yeah. And then suddenly he's spending 56 million on a 28, 29-year-old. I was like, well, why didn't you do that 10 years ago? Why didn't you do that 5 years ago? Why now all of a sudden? It's great. I love Aubameyang, and I think he's great, and I hope he signs that new contract because I want him to stay. But that was so un-Arsenal-like and so un-Wenger-like to do that. So you wonder who was actually pulling the strings.
Well, I think in that situation it was Wenger almost saying like, I need to save my job.
I don't know. I was in a lot of press conferences around that time, and Wenger's body language didn't suggest that he was the one pulling it and pushing it. Basically.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just didn't. Reading between the lines of sort of being an experienced Wenger watcher, face to face with him as well, I just don't think he had much say in that. You had Mislintat, you had a few others as well. I think he was just riding it basically and just going, these are the players we've got, we'll have to deal with it. Because Wenger would never have sanctioned a £56 million signing for a 28, 29-year-old 5 years ago. Yeah. So it's just really, really disappointing. And one more thing before I forget as well, Ozil obviously did a tweet today going, it's 250 appearance, whatever, to his 15 million followers. And great, good luck to you. But there was a line that really struck me in that tweet, and he just goes, "Yeah, I don't regret signing for Arsenal." Really? Really? Good for you. I'm really glad you don't regret signing for my club.
It's a very strange
I
aside.
know, yeah. I don't, it
strange.
really wasn't the sort of English or whatever, because obviously someone else writes his tweets for him. I know that for a fact. But at the same time, it was like, why are you saying you don't regret it? It's like
you shouldn't have to say it, should you?
Exactly. And if
It's a
anyone
really
should be saying it, it'd be
compliment.
Arsenal fans. And a lot of us fans do regret signing him.
Exactly.
Admittedly, at the time, he did give the club a massive lift in 2013 towards the end of the transfer sort of market that summer. But we're signing him because we want him to perform, not because we're signing him just for the sake of being a marquee signing. And he's massively, massively disappointed. He's massively underwhelmed.
Isn't he?
He's living off past glories. He hasn't even. He's not even living off past glories of Arsenal. He's living off what, the World Cup or something? I don't know.
All of his highlight reels are basically the goals against Ludogorets and a few assists.
Yeah,
like 5 years ago.
And don't be wrong, if he did that even once a month or something, I'd be like, this is brilliant. I love him. I love creative players. I want players to
do you reckon
flourish.
that's why
I
he's
want
still
Arsenal
there?
players to flourish. But he's just not performed, and it's so frustrating.
When was the last time you actually remember him performing well?
I can't think of
The
anything
fact
this
to say says it all.
Yeah.
Because you always, ask me like, when was the last time you saw a standout game from X-player?
Granit Xhaka at Manchester United at home. There you go.
Like, when you look at Ozil, you're like, when's the last time he had a real standout performance where he was the difference for our team that really made us kick on?
Yeah.
Do you know
I
what?
can't
This
think of it.
No.
this might be a slightly controversial opinion, but going back to when he signed, I think it was a bit of a panic buy personally.
It was the end of August, wasn't
Deadline day in the last 2
Deadline
hours,
day,
wasn't
they'd
it?
missed out on. They were going for a striker. They missed out on the likes of Higuain, Suarez, Benzema, and then they
Well,
buy
as
a player. Obviously, a marquee player, and at that time was a world class player. But in a position they didn't need to buy one. They had the likes of Cazorla, Ramsey.
Yeah, Arsenal buy a creative midfielder. It's like, wow. Why don't we have addressed the problems we need to address?
Well, we never have we? That's the Arsenal way in the transfer window. It's always, let's buy a flashy new signing, not a defender.
Yeah, exactly.
So if we fast forward to the summer and Arsenal do somehow manage to get him out the club, it's going to be a feeling of relief and sort of sadness in a way.
Regret. I wouldn't. Maybe
Regret,
relief
yeah.
to a certain extent, because he's just a player that hasn't performed and would remove a problem for Arteta basically by him not being at the club. But for me, it'd be more of one of regret that a talented player didn't fulfil his potential, B, potentially a talented player didn't work hard enough to fulfil his potential, and C, we wasted an awful lot of money on that player who didn't fulfil his potential. So
Well, he's not going to go down in the Arsenal annals of history, is he? He's going to be
Not for me. Not
he's
for
going to
me.
be a footnote. In 20 years' time, you won't really remember him as with fondness.
Yeah.
You'll remember Aubameyang for the goals. You'll remember Bellerin and stuff like that. You won't remember Ozil because he was just a big name, but didn't really add much.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's got a massive fan base, and a lot of Arsenal fans absolutely adore him. Like Glenn is just the biggest supporter of him. Like, has a shrine to him.
Yeah.
I can't see it, and I just don't get it myself.
Exactly. And if you're watching this as well, just random people are watching. Let us know why you think Ozil. If you disagree with us, let us know why you think Ozil could be a great player for Arsenal. And don't say just because he's talented. Tell us why he hasn't performed. Why you think he hasn't performed? Because we don't think he's performed. If you think he's performed, tell us why. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
And answer Sergio's question as well. I mean, what was the last time you remember
Yeah.
him really performing?
Yeah. So don't just sit there and go, oh, you hate Ozil and all the rest of it. Tell us why you think Ozil is a brilliant player. Because I know he's got a lot of supporters out there, but there's not much substance to their argument at the moment. So I want to know why, basically.
Let us know. But
'Cause
for
I
the
mean-
rest of the season, I mean, what's his role in the team? I mean, is he going to be a negative impact on the squad?
Well, I wouldn't say he's a negative
Yeah.
impact. I think he's a big name, so I think he adds a lot of, experience, and the younger players can talk to him about his
I wonder
experience
if he
playing
does
for Germany.
pass
and
that
stuff
on.
like
I wonder if he does do that.
Well, I think he's a player that a lot of the younger players have to look at. Like, he has, as we said, won a World Cup. He has played in Real Madrid. He has
Doesn't
played
lead by example, does he?
No, and that's it. Yeah, I've obviously been to Colney for like open training sessions before Europa League, and as I always say, you're never going to get any trade secrets. But I sometimes study him just in terms of his body language, the way he walks out. He's obviously got his friends in terms of Kolasinac, and off the pitch, you could argue he's a very, very loyal friend. The way he sort of looks after him, and good luck to them both for that. But at the same time, he sort of hangs around with him, hangs around with Mustafi if he's playing, if he's fit or whatever, if he's in the squad. But he doesn't really interact with the youngsters. He doesn't really interact with the sort of mid-level players either. He'll never put his arm around someone and go, oh, you should have done this or that. He'll never sort of, he'll sort of clap his hands and join in with the boys if they're doing like a rondo or whatever you call it. And, pig in the middle in my day, they used to call it. But, whatever. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just old, basically. But he doesn't seem much of a team player. He obviously is to a certain extent because he's in the squad.
He must
and
have stories for them that would help educate them in their.
Yeah, exactly. But I've never
structure.
seen that in the
Doesn't
training.
strike me as someone that would do that.
Do you think Do you think he almost kind of lives in his own bubble in a way?
I think so.
Definitely,
I think so.
And he goes home and to his mansion and good luck to him and 15 million followers and all the rest of it and the money.
He always looks quite depressed.
Yeah,
He does look always annoyed.
He does seem, that's a really good point. He does seem like he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders.
When me and
sometimes.
Rosie were at Bournemouth waiting for you guys after the press conference, you saw all the players go to the coach. All the players' starts were really nice and friendly. Ozil just looked really quite grumpy. He just got straight to the coach. And there's not a single word or a smile. He looked really quite sort of depressed.
Yeah. You do wonder what goes on behind the scenes sometimes in people's lives, and hopefully he's okay and stuff. But even when I'm waiting in the mix zone, sometimes he will never interact with anyone, never give an interview.
He just strolls through, doesn't he?
Well,
strolls through.
He famously had like a gaming addiction, didn't he, at one point? They were saying that was in the news. So
Played a load of Fortnite, didn't he?
So he used to play a lot of video games, and to the point where he actually hurt his back.
People watch him play video games, don't they?
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like a high court judge who's completely out of the loop.
People watch you talk nonsense on the internet.
True, yeah. And please keep watching. Don't listen to but yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'd much
it's
rather
just,
watch you.
I'd like, just out of interest, when he plays his computer games, presumably some of you watched it.
Toby
Is he
definitely
really creative when he
Toby
plays,
does.
or is he really workmanlike? Because players like George Graham are really creative as players, and they were really sort of utilitarian as managers. I'll be wondering, like, what?
Where are you going?
I'm just really
Where
interested.
are you going?
I
Suggested
know.
that Mesut Ozil plays video games as boringly as he plays football.
I would be really interested to know if Mesut Ozil plays football like Mesut Ozil plays football.
Subbers around the map.
What's hilarious is he could just go and watch it, but he doesn't know where it is.
I don't care. I don't care. I'll get frustrated enough watching him in real life. I'm not going to sit and watch him play a computer game.
Toby, to answer your
But let us know. If you watch him play computer games, let us know how he plays. I'm really interested.
I think it is. I mean, I don't think we should read too much into his facial expressions or whatever. He probably just does have that face.
What does that face mean?
You know, he just always.
But I think body language is
Why? Why is he serious? He's on 350 grand a week.
Body
He's married to a
language is
model. He should be happy in his
If you
life.
take a player like Bellerin, his body
language is so important.
He's always
got his
standing
chest out.
strong. He's always looking
Absolutely.
quite.
Even if you're having a
important,
bad day,
impactful.
puff your chest out and get on with it.
And the way he talks to other players, he always looks, body language wise, he looks positive.
Yeah.
Ozil always looks, his shoulders are slightly cramped. He looks.
Actually, it's
like
hilarious
he's a
that
solemn
Emery made him one of his 5 captains, isn't it?
That says so much about
it should have been Matt Mason.
But he had to, didn't he? Because he's the longest serving player, as it were. He's the most expensive
But it just
signing.
shows you that Emery just didn't get Arsenal Football Club, did he?
Well, did you see the interview Emery gave recently?
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Yeah, that was
Spanish newspaper where he
nonsense.
said that Pepe was the problem and the players didn't play for
Yeah,
him.
yeah. It's,
What did he say? The fans got him sacked.
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
Yes,
No, we
I'll
didn't.
tell you what,
You
he got
madman.
himself sacked because he was such a poor manager. So when he left, he gave a really sort of dignified interview, and it was like, great, good luck, move on. So why is he slagging Arsenal off 2 months later? He's obviously come out of his bubble now, come out of his shell shot, and gone. Instead of reflecting on himself what he could have done better, he's just looking for target. If he does that, then he can just forget about any sort of goodwill from Arsenal.
I thought it was
Basically,
really
it was
interesting.
really just wrong. Basically,
It is really good to see we're still living rent free in Emery's head, isn't it?
It was quite interesting in that interview with Guillaume Balaguer he did that we referenced a few weeks ago. He was talking about he said his friends were saying that they didn't recognise him as a person during his Arsenal.
Yeah,
really got to it.
Yeah. And that was the interview I was talking about. Yeah, it was quite a raging interview. Yeah. But it was just. It just wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough, and it's okay him saying that to be slightly disingenuous and just go, we know it wasn't me at Arsenal, but he proved it was him because he was the same at Paris as well towards the end. He did nothing in Moscow. Yeah. Okay.
He sort of intimated that it was sort of circumstance. Really wasn't it?
Every football manager suffers from circumstances, and I don't know why he suddenly started to feel sorry for himself and aim barbs at Arsenal and Arsenal fans because.
Do you reckon it's because Arsenal are performing a more positive way that he kind of wants to?
Yeah, because we've shown what we can do under an organised manager or a manager who can organise basically. Both, to be fair.
Yeah.
But what is it that Ozil shows that both Emery likes him, Freddie likes him, Arteta likes him? What is it about him that the managers see? That
I don't
we
think
see?
Emery didn't like him.
Emery didn't like him.
Yeah, he didn't like him at all. And Freddie didn't like him towards the end because he basically said for that Everton game, which was literally the worst 0-0 in the history of the Premier League.
Dour.
Yeah, it was terrible. And he just goes, well, Ozil wouldn't have played even if he was fit because he threw his gloves down against City. Yeah. So.
Well, Emery said he really wanted to find a way to work Ozil, Lacazette, and Aubameyang together. And he never found it. I mean, that's a reflection on him. Really,
yeah, absolutely.
I think he did want to find that. I don't think he had like an agenda.
But it wasn't for lack of
Just
trying.
imagine if Mikel Arteta had found a way to do that. Oh no, wait. No, he has.
But how many formations did Emery play? It was like,
we went through this.
Yeah, exactly. So,
it was 11 with like 35 different
there was
starters.
no stone left unturned in terms of trying to get the best out of Ozil. So was it Ozil's fault? Was it Emery's fault? Was it system?
Both.
Do you reckon Arteta's got the ability to actually make Ozil like all-firing, all-cylinders player?
I think.
Or do you reckon he's just unworkable?
I'm one for sort of like putting your arm around someone's shoulder if they need it, as well as giving them a bollocking if they need it, basically. And I think Arteta can do both.
Yeah.
But ultimately, if Ozil doesn't perform, he's going to get kicked out, and he's got to know that. And if that's the last motivational tool that Arteta's got as a manager, then he's got to use it. He's got to say, "Well, you've got to go." And Ozil could go, "Well, you're calling my bluff because Arsenal aren't going to get rid of me in the summer." Maybe in that case, then Arsenal just cut their losses. Yeah, but cut them in the summer and just go cut the losses. Just, we'll let you go. We'll pay you off a certain amount of your contract. Go.
You've got to think.
There's got to be something because we've tried everything. We've tried the carrot, the stick. Dropping him, hailing him as a great
Arteta's in a difficult
playmaker.
position though, isn't he? Because if you think about it this way, you know, they were former teammates, they're friends, and now he's had to kind of take on that role of I'm a manager. He's got to be ruthless, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's difficult if you let that be difficult. If you're going to be everyone's friend, then you're going to be difficult. But I think, like we said, we were in Arteta's first press conference and he used the word ruthless.
He needs to be
ruthless. He's going to be ruthless with Ozil if he hasn't already.
Ozil's been there for 6 years, and it's not been like a highlight for 6 years. He's just one of those players that he has the brilliant name and the brilliant pedigree. It doesn't ever seem to bring
You
any
just
joy.
know that in a game he can completely
do
change
wanna know
it
what
all
Glenn's
by
season
himself.
is.
But then,
I
you
would
know.
love to know what Glenn's season
Yeah.
is. I'm genuinely fascinated.
It's a shame he's not here tonight.
Every time we
Comment
defend him
below,
so
Glenn.
passionately.
That's the reason why he's not here.
Use your smartphone to comment, Glenn. No, actually, hold on.
Oh wait, he's not watching.
Send us a carrier pigeon message, Glenn.
He's still shouting at Tesco's frozen merchandise.
Oh, Glenn.
We miss you, Glenn. Well, let's move on to another player. Unfortunately, they did have
I wonder where this is going.
another bad game against Burnley. There's been a lot of talk about him online. Alex Lacazette. I think it's a run. It's a poor run.
You mean the French Darren Bent?
The French Darren Bent, which is a callback to our Up for Grabs series.
The French Darren Bent.
We had a comment a couple of weeks ago comparing. him to the
Yesterday was
French
so important for him to really kick on.
Yeah.
Yesterday was the perfect opportunity for him to pick himself up, get some momentum back into his step, and really show he is the striker again. And in the 70th second, literally a minute and a half into the game, he had an opportunity to score, which he did do a few last season, and it's just doesn't seem to have the ability anymore. Like, I don't know if it's his confidence or if he's holding a bit of Christmas timber. It's hard to work out.
I certainly am.
Shock.
Comments. Thanks very much.
Again, watch Up for Grabs.
Do you want, obviously, Layth and myself in Burnley yesterday, do you want a little insight into one of the many topics of conversation in the car on the way back?
Let's hear it.
So this...
You don't want every
Yes,
topic
no, this
on
is obviously Lacazette related. So the conversation started with a big sigh from Layth, who said, what do we do with Lacazette? And we basically came to the conclusion that over the next 14 days, obviously Arsenal went to break, but Arteta just puts him in front of a goal. No goalkeeper, just gives him a bag of balls and just lets him kick the ball into the goal. And until the sun goes down each day, until the next Premier League game, just let him kick the ball into the net. So he knows what
Honestly, yeah.
That was the conclusion we came to, basically.
Get a job down London Colney, mate. You got skills.
Let him just kick a ball into a net. Doesn't matter how, where...
Seriously.
What's your name? Pep Guardiola?
I mean, do you reckon he needs a bit?
Fat Pep
Does he need a bit of time
Pep XL.
or something to get some confidence?
Fat Pep Guardiola with a smaller forehead.
In that tight green t-shirt.
To be fair, Layth has definitely worn Stone Island at this time, hasn't he?
What's wrong with Stone Island? No, actually, don't go there.
Oh!
Do you reckon Lacazette needs to go play with like the academy or something to try and get some confidence
Jesus,
back?
Serge.
I don't know, just something.
He's not that bad. He's not done an Adebayor, has he?
He's a little bit. He seems to just be sort of really shot of confidence. So maybe going to play a couple of games for the other team, just give him just to boost the confidence.
Just put the under-12s goalkeeper in goal in training. And just...
Blindfold him as well.
I mean, what's interesting
To be fair, Lacazette plays like he's blindfolded up as well.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that Firmino for Liverpool hasn't scored at Anfield for like almost a year or something.
Yeah.
And obviously, we know that he's brilliant in build-up play, and we know that Lacazette can also be brilliant in build-up play, playing off Aubameyang. But I mean, is it because?
Yeah, but it's circumstance.
Yeah, of course.
If Arsenal win Liverpool's position, 22 points ahead, and Lacazette Lacazette hadn't scored over a year, we wouldn't be slagging him off, would we?
Yeah, and also I think we made a point the other day, yesterday, in terms of that second half header. Aubameyang sort of had to angle his neck back to sort of angle narrowly past Pope's post, but Lacazette provided the cross. So if that goal had gone in, Is everyone happy with Lacazette? Yeah, it's like Lacazette provides an assist for the winner.
Yeah, true.
So it's small margins as well. But you're absolutely right. I was at Huddersfield last season when he scored his last league goal for Arsenal, basically. And if you
away from home, not his last league goal.
Sorry,
last
away from home. Yeah,
yeah.
it feels like that. If you said to me you'd be waiting a year, I'd just be like, you're joking. I really like Lacazette, and I want him to do well. And he does hold the ball up well with his back to goal. He links play well. He works hard. He's a team man. He's got a good temperament. Good technique as well. He just needs to score, and it's just so fun. You're right. Why isn't he scoring? I don't know. Is it the system? Again, there's been so many different tactics and formations played via Emery, and now obviously, Arteta's shown faith in him, so he's got that confidence knowing the manager still believes in him. Why isn't he scoring? I don't know. But on the flip side of that is all the nonsense on Twitter from people who potentially, I don't know, are not. Making snap judgments. I know you could say, well, he hasn't scored away in a year, but snap judgments in terms of, he's terrible. I saw a tweet yesterday saying he was sack him. He's the worst £50 million.
Wasn't it retire now?
Yeah, retire now. That was it as well. And there was another one saying he's the worst £50 million signing ever. I knew he was.
Fernando Torres wants a word.
To be fair, who was saying that 2 years ago when he got voted Player of the Season for Arsenal? Everyone's an expert, isn't it? Give him a bit. I should give him a bit of time. I know it's been a long time, but get behind the player. And to be fair, the Arsenal fans at Burnley did that yesterday. They were singing his name loudly and proudly just to get behind him.
We're in every single way, and he's always
absolutely
a very fun player for the UEFA.
Yeah.
He's also got like the best song as well.
Which is great.
Everyone claps him all the time. Like every fan's behind him.
Yeah, absolutely.
They want him to perform.
I
think he just needs that one game where he just clicks back into action.
I think so. All he literally just needs a goal. As soon as he gets a goal, I think he'll go on and get 10 this season, or 10 after his first goal back.
He's on 5 already.
Yeah, I mean, like he'll get 10 from when he scores his first goal. Now,
well, there you go. Then.
I reckon he will. Seriously, yeah. But he just needs that goal.
Back.
But yeah, it's just so
frustrating.
frustrating.
Do you think it's Arsenal aren't scoring, or do you think it's he's not scoring? Because I mean, Arsenal
both,
aren't.
I think Arteta, in his sort of mind, is trading a bit of attacking flair for more defensive solidity. It's almost like the George Graham mindset.
At this point, early in your
it's like you get the defence sorted and then we'll worry about the attack. Whereas loads of previous, I'd say loads, Wenger and Emery, people go, Emery's a bit boring, but 5-5 at Liverpool, places like that, there's always a few goals in it because the team couldn't defend properly. The back line.
Yeah, but remember he always wanted to win 5-4.
Well, he said that.
Wasn't far.
He said that, but he didn't actually mean it, did he? Really?
He really ate his words then.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just. I think Arteta was just basically going, I want to get the back line sorted, and I'm still going to stick with Lacazette and everyone else because I want the back line sorted first, and then we'll worry about the goals. And if we can nick a few wins in the meantime, great, basically. But he just needs a goal. We've been saying it for so long.
Do you think when he scores the floodgates will open then?
Yes, another sort of cliches. Yes.
So do you reckon if Ozil was firing on all cylinders, Lacazette would be scoring more goals and would be a better player? Do you reckon that's influencing him at the moment?
I think everyone would be scoring more goals, not just Lacazette.
Do you know what, Sos? That's a really good point, though. That's a really good point. You'd like to think so. You'd like to think if your creative number 10 is loading the bullets for your strikers to score from, then great. But I suppose it's the fact that Ozil isn't performing as well.
Yeah.
It's just.
He's also been yesterday. Aubameyang looked a little bit rusty himself.
Yeah, there was that chance in the first half.
Do you reckon there's that sort of element where Aubameyang's catching all the headlines that's kind of put Lacazette a little bit in the shadows? Because obviously he was brought after him. He's taking all the headlines. He's a more flashy goal-scoring player.
I don't think so. I think they worked so well together last year.
Yeah, I don't
think they were brilliant as a pair last year. Whether they were up front together, Aubameyang was out wide, Lacazette through the middle, whatever. They're really close friends as well. I don't think it's the case of that. Personally.
I'm just wondering what's going on in Lacazette's head. That's sort of putting. He's always got writer's block.
I think it's obviously we know Layth doesn't like cliches, but I think it's a case of you're so desperate for a goal, you're snatching at everything.
Yeah.
So
snatched it yesterday as well.
Well, I mean, just basically Lacazette. I think he's so wants to score. He's just desperately trying to do whatever he can to put it in the back of the net. Obviously, there was the one in the second half that was blocked.
Yeah.
But he still kind of had a bit of a snatch at it rather than take it around the man and then have a go.
Yeah.
Just think there's that desperation kind of creeping in, which is going to only make the situation worse, basically.
Yeah, exactly. But there is no egos between them. They are genuine friends, and there's a real respect there. And I think they just want. No. I'm just clarifying.
They're trying to psyche behind it. Like, and obviously now we've got the rise of Martinelli as a young 18.
You mean Pele?
What? Is that a dust ball?
The rise of Martinelli, young 18-year-old sort of was brought to go to the under-23s. Now he's in the first team and he's really confident, scoring a lot of goals. Do you reckon that's probably sort of been a bit of a stumbling block for Lacazette as well.
That should spur him on, really.
Yeah.
If there was a youngster doing well, you'd be like, right, I'm gonna do equally as
Because
well.
all of us
just
are
to show that I
desperate to see
can.
Lacazette just really get back in form.
Absolutely,
He was excellent, wasn't he, when he was our player of the season?
Yeah, brilliant.
Recently, you know, we really want to see him get going again because he's a fantastic player. And it's just trying to work out what it is that's stopping him.
Yeah, and it shows there's a real disconnect again between social media and real life in terms of the stick he gets on social media and the support he gets from genuine Arsenal fans at the game and around the world as well. You know, it's not just at the game. So
he's globally popular.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're talking about, the attack not firing, but let's take a step back to the defence, which, kept a clean sheet on Saturday, on was it Saturday?
Sunday.
Yeah.
Where are we?
And Mustafi had a really good game.
Over to you, Dan.
So let's talk.
Flipped the story. He's now his
Honestly.
favourite player. Look, he's even holding the Mustafi pin.
He's
That's
probably
how
flipped the
obsessed
story,
he
isn't
is.
he? Honestly.
He's now got
A few-
Mustafi.
a few
You know
weeks
how
ago-
I just called Martinelli Pele, Beckenbauer. No, no. In all seriousness, credit where credit is due. Mustafi was brilliant yesterday.
Are you going to apologise to Mustafi as well?
No, I'm
like
not
you did
going to
like you did
apologise to
Xhaka?
him. God, no, I'm not going to apologise to him. But no, I thought he
been
was.
our intro again. Great leading question there, Toby.
Every single week, just Dan apologising. I just want to say a massive
I didn't take the bait that time, did I? No, to be fair, as I say, credit where credit is due. I thought he was genuinely brilliant yesterday. I mean, everything he did, he looked assured. He was confident. Obviously, after that mistake against Chelsea, it's nice that he's turned things around in a way. Marshalled Chris Wood really well. Who's a big physical striker, real goal threat. Same with Rodriguez. So yeah, credit to him. He did really, really well.
And you couldn't say that he's a player that doesn't want it. He really wants to succeed at Arsenal. I think that's shown.
His performance yesterday was even more
point.
impressive considering the injury at Bournemouth. Like,
Exactly.
we've really were shocked when we saw the team sheet come out. I was like, how on earth has he recovered that quickly?
Yeah.
And then to perform like that, it was quite incredible.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it did look like a serious injury, but you always in the back of your mind, you're like, is it really that serious?
Oh, he looked pretty painful when he got on the coach.
They all do, though, don't they? But you're right. Yeah, you did see him limp on the coach with strapping or whatever, wasn't it?
It was big boot and crutches.
But I'm always a bit like, let's wait for the scan and then we'll see. But you're right. Though. He still showed real courage and character to come back and play as well as he did at Burnley. It was a tough game. And I don't know if we mentioned this before, but there was a point in the first half I absolutely loved when he was with Chris Wood, who's a real bustling centre forward, basically. Good player as well, I can't rate him. And Mustafi just pushed him. The ball was coming over, he just literally pushed him. It's obviously a foul, and it could have been a yellow card. And yeah, you could argue giving away a free kick into the box and that. But what did that say to the centre forward? What did that say to your opposition? It's like we're not going to be. We're not going to play Queensby rules here. We're going to stop you from doing whatever you need to do, basically. And I like that. I like that from defenders. I love it from defenders.
It's that old thing of let them know they're in a game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it sounds like something out of the 50s or whatever, but it's true. We've all played football. If you're going up
really
against
badly.
someone who's going to absolutely, really bad, who's going to absolutely clobber you, and next time the ball comes, they're going to try and clobber you. Yeah. You are going to think that in your head. You're obviously going to try and clobber them back, but at the same time, if you know that's coming, rather than someone's going to help you up when you're on the ground and play fair, then that is going to play in your head, and that's what I want. I want our defenders to be nasty, and we haven't had nasty defenders before. I'm not saying Mustafi's like the second coming of Nuban Sire, but it was good.
Beckenbauer.
It was just good to see him play at a level that he should be playing at, basically.
We obviously mentioned about Ozil and saying can Arteta get the best out of him, turn him around, basically. Arteta said a similar sort of thing with Mustafi, didn't he? He said, I feel like I'll get the best out of him. Do you think he can?
Yeah, well, he did.
Well, he has to.
Yeah, the proof's in the pudding. I think he has already, hasn't he? Really, I want that level every week now. If he can get it, I'd love it.
That'd be
Basically.
I think the main thing with him is just cut out the mistakes and it'll be fine.
Yeah,
the main criticism of him is the mistake.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy season for him, though, isn't it?
The criticism is
He's played
nothing
well,
but the
hasn't he, really?
mistakes, basically. If he just gets through the mistakes, it'll be fine.
Yeah, so it's concentration levels potentially,
Yeah.
and maybe confidence feeds into that. And
bear in mind,
detracts from
under
that
Emery, he
as
was
well.
basically in the Europa League prison where he wasn't allowed to play any Premier League games.
And he did well. He did well in
now
the
he's
cup games,
kind of
didn't
unleashed in the first team,
Yeah.
playing every Premier League game. And I think a matter of time basically for him to get his confidence in his.
And as we
back.
said, he's been given another chance. And after Chelsea, we said, he hasn't taken it, but maybe he's finally sort of
absolutely.
sorted through whatever he needs to sort
through. In the change room
Yeah,
as
I think
well.
so. Yeah.
I've asked a few questions of him, and he's a nice bloke as well.
If you follow him on social media, you find him. He's always doing jokes. He's always laughing around. He's always being
Running underwater with a stone for no reason.
Yeah.
He's quite
dancing in his
sweet.
boxes.
Yeah.
And
I think it's quite like a jovial atmosphere in the changing room, which I think is quite a positive thing for a team. If they're at the moment we're drawing a lot of games, we're not playing the best we can. I think it's quite a positive atmosphere in the changing room to have that funny sort of character in there to keep you smiling.
Absolutely. I've got to say as well, we will call, we'll call it how we see it basically, and we try and offer constructive criticism. We've never got an agenda against any Arsenal player. We love Arsenal, love every Arsenal player. We just want them to do as well as they can do. And when people go, you hate Mustafi, I don't hate him. I just hate the fact he doesn't play well in an Arsenal shirt when he should be playing week in, week out. When he should be playing well, certainly £35 million worth of signing basically. So when he does play well, great, do that every week, and we'd love you seriously. But that just shows we're behind every player. Basically.
Yeah, I mean that's just. I mean we're here to sort of discuss why and sort of see how it can be improved. We're not here to slag it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. There's no agenda. I want the Mustafi to play well. I want every Arsenal player well, and if they play well, they'll be gods basically, and that's what they got to realise.
We're not here to indulge.
What I mentioned with Ozil, he has that pedigree. He's got the pedigree of the World Cup, but Mustafi was in the German national team as well. He's quite an important player for the national team.
Yeah, he was in the squad. I think he played a couple of games.
He played right back, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he's got that sort of international pedigree as well. So he's undoubtedly not a bad player. Just the silly mistakes are just so frustrating. So highlighting of like how bad he can be. When he's brilliant, he's great. When he's terrible, he's pretty terrible.
Yeah, there's a real.
He's a proper Marmite character in that respect.
It would be really interesting if he does end up having a real good run towards the end of the
Imagine he got like player of the season or something. End of days.
Then you've got to give him
I thought he'd just been taken to an alternative universe. Whoa, I'm back in the room.
Imagine holding a supporters club shield.
You've definitely got to give an
like
apology
Mustafi.
for his player of the season.
If he gets player of the season, I will give a full. I will write out a 2-page apology.
And it will be our
We need to buy
intro.
a scarf at some point, don't we?
Yeah.
Boys pin, needs buy a
I
scarf.
mean, to be
Let's start
fair,
making one soon.
the badge was kind of a joke, wasn't it?
Not anymore.
Now we're all in. Literally, take it back a few weeks ago. We were talking about, Xhaka this, Mustafi that. Look at us.
I know.
Who'd have thought?
Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought?
A few weeks ago.
Not me.
A few weeks.
Look at us. Hey, look at us. Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
ago we were talking this and that, and we're still 10th.
But we're a better 10th.
Yeah.
A strong
We're
ten.
strong
at
10th.
-2 goals.
Hey!
We'll be positive digits soon.
We were a weak 10th, and now we're going to be a strong 10th, and hopefully we'll have positive goal difference.
Liverpool were coming for him.
Exactly.
I mean, we can't. We mathematically no longer can win the title, which is a bit disappointing, isn't it?
You've got to bring it down, haven't you?
Honestly.
Just like Pep Guardiola, we've conceded defeat.
Yeah, it's not our year, is it?
I would say sorry, Pep, but I'm not sorry.
Arsenal.
I saw a really funny photo. I can't remember what it was. Just like a photo of Pep, and it was like Pep with Arteta, and then just a random ball bloke, and Pep without Arteta.
The Arteta effect.
Facts.
I
Facts.
just think City are worse now. Arteta's gone.
Well, they haven't played well recently.
They haven't.
No.
I reckon it shows how important Arteta was.
You
to
can
City.
sort of tell by the way the players were speaking after. I think it was,
Yeah.
was it David Silva was saying about he's a massive part of the club and all this.
Pep
and
looks a
that.
little bit sadder.
Yeah.
And that little bit balder.
His forehead looks like a little bit higher.
He's looking more and more like Layth.
And that is never a good thing.
What, has he got a six-pack as well then?
Yeah, 6-pack of beer.
Pep, you look like a sumo wrestler, mate.
We'll come on to that.
Funny you should say that.
Anyway, on our tour of disappointing performances recently,
Oh, God, where are we going now?
let's talk Ceballos.
Oh,
Danny.
I mean, what's
Danny
what's
Ceballos. He drinks Australia, eats paella, and hopefully he's going to have a massive influence on the Arsenal team sometime soon.
That's really catchy, that song.
Got there in the end.
happened? That's the intro.
Sorted. Oh, Ceballos, I don't even know anymore. I mean, where do we go with him? I just think he's going to just peter out, and then when his loan ends, he'll go back to Madrid, and that'll be that, basically.
Yeah.
He seems to have changed his mind because the other week he was saying he wants to go back. Now he's sort of saying he wants to stay.
No, Real Madrid, Valencia wanted to take him on loan, and Real Madrid basically said, no, he's staying at Arsenal.
Ooh.
So,
I actually wrote a feature about him the other week on the back of a question I asked Mikel Arteta about Ceballos. I basically said, is Ceballos still in your plans a couple of weeks ago? And he just basically paid a dead bat and he said, well, yeah, he is, but he's got to do more. He's got to work harder. He's got to be fit, And I chose to, select another player because he wasn't in the squad for Palace when he was fit, basically.
Yeah.
That was what sort of prompted my question, basically. I know Arteta's got to say that, but you can see his body language. Ceballos has got no future at Arsenal. I don't think Arteta particularly rates him.
What are the
I
chances
don't
of
think.
to buy him though at the end of his?
I don't think there's a buy clause in there.
No,
But at the
there's
same
not. There's
time-
no option to buy.
But if Arsenal offered him Real Madrid 15, 20 million, I'm sure they'd sell. But we don't need him. We don't want him, and he hasn't been effective. And the Burnley home game is a long time ago. I think he scored one goal against Standard Liège in his Arsenal career, and he hasn't done any assists for a while. I think he's made 9 appearances all year. It's just not good enough.
It's all right. We can always hold on to Burnley, can't we?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll always have Burnley. But the gist of my feature was basically Burnley was a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was, and it was Sunday.
Yeah. Burnley in August. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Had to be done.
Yeah, and basically for me, the gist of my feature was Ceballos is this year's Denis Suarez, basically.
Oh,
Read it.
damning.
I think it goes back to my point that I don't think loan players work at clubs our level.
Yeah, you said that before, and
I
I think
agree,
that's a fair
yeah.
point, yeah.
Because you're always getting someone from a level below or who's not getting minutes whether they...
Or ultimately,
Wherever they are at a higher level,
you're
basically.
training them up to be a better player for them to go back to that team where you don't get to hold on to the skill that you fostered.
Yeah, I mean,
The only good loan player is Yossi Ben
I was going to say Yossi Ben.
Yossi Ben
But like,
even then,
just
it was
in general in the Premier League. I mean, what successful loan players have there been for other clubs? I
trying
can't
to think,
really for the top 6.
Yeah,
The top 6.
not
God
really.
knows.
No.
Don't know.
Comment below if you.
Let's know.
Well, Lukaku when he was at Everton.
Was that a loan?
Yeah.
It was originally, yes.
It was originally,
originally,
yeah.
right?
He did it right, but it wasn't.
And are we putting Everton in the top 6?
Yeah.
Is it a top 6 now? Is it top 5, top 4? I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
top
What
20.
are you talking about? Yeah.
I'm saying
I was going to
top
say,
six.
what are you
It's
talking
the
about?
UK top 40.
Everton, I'm not in the top 6.
Are there good loan deals? That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
There must be some.
Good for our next Christmas quiz.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a very subjective question
Yeah.
for a Christmas quiz, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's a good loan?
Brilliant question, yeah.
Wrong.
Wrong on these grounds.
The answer is Yossi Benayoun.
What's the question?
But on Ceballos, if we look back to that Burnley game, I mean, the excitement. I remember he was driving forward.
Yeah.
He was doing Rabonas,
Two
doing all
assists,
this and that, and then it was, what happened?
Yeah.
Where did that go?
There was a
Got
brilliant.
injured, didn't he?
Yeah,
Well, there
of
was a
course,
brilliant
but-
interview by Sid Lowe with Ceballos when he went away to Spain for the internationals in early September. And he was basically, I love it. Yeah, Arsenal fans got a song for me already. I'm really looking forward to the rest of the season. And there was a bit of a payoff from Sid Lowe. He's a brilliant one. I love Sid Lowe. And he basically just said, to be fair, it is August, September. If they're still singing your name in February, then you're doing well, basically. And he goes, yeah, we'll see.
We were
sort of
third
thing.
then, weren't we?
Yeah. But I mean,
There you go.
no one was singing Ceballos' name.
Day.
But no one was singing Ceballos' name yesterday, were they?
Mystic
That
Sid
says it
Lowe.
all.
What's great when hearing all the English fans say Paella in a horrible
So-
way. Ceballos has all the skills to be an
To pay the
excellent
bills.
player. Yeah.
Another short
Is
cliche.
it 1995?
Can I go now?
Is your dial-up ringing?
Welcome back to 1995.
Ceballos has the ability and skills to be a great player, but I just don't think we need to really foster a player that we can't necessarily keep.
Yeah.
Like, as I said, I'm against loans. I don't think we should have them.
Yeah, I think of a club of Arsenal stature, why are we loaning players? Why are we having loan players?
I mean, yeah,
I think you're absolutely right. We're in Arsenal. Why
Because
are
we're
we
paying
bringing
Mesut
on loan?
Ozil for
In fact, we
50k
got
a week.
Yeah.
In fact, we got another loan this window as well.
Yeah.
Just frustrated.
2.
Yeah.
just
Although I suppose
buy
you could argue we need numbers at the back,
just buy
but
him.
it's
Surely we
I
can
wonder
start
what
him. Just
what
buy
was
him.
the
Right.
thinking behind loaning Ceballos? I mean, was it like panic midfielder? We need.
Yeah,
No, to be fair to Ceballos, I think there is genuinely quite a good player in there.
Of course.
but not in England.
Of course.
Not in English
Not
football,
in
not for
England.
Arsenal.
Yeah.
But he's still only 22 as well, you've got to remember that.
Yeah. And
Still
he'd be a
got
good player. He'd be a
fairly
brilliant
bright
player back in
future ahead of
Spain.
him, but I just
So you made
think,
your mind up then?
Yeah. That's it. He's gone. It's over.
That's over.
2020's Denis Suarez.
I looked deep into Mikel Arteta's eyes, and there was no love for Ceballos. Seriously.
Over a candlelit dinner.
Just me and him.
You
Yeah.
just,
Ceballos wasn't there.
Careless Whistle by George Michael's playing in the background.
No words.
brilliant.
Wasn't that bombshell?
Well, since our last podcast, Arsenal have signed Cedric Suarez to add to Pablo Mari in this transfer window. Dan, I mean, what are your thoughts on Arsenal signing in from?
Well,
Southampton?
apparently Southampton couldn't quite believe what they were reading when they got the offer. Says it all. I mean, it's a bit of a weird signing. We don't need a right back, do we?
No.
He's out for the next 3 weeks. I mean, He's 2020's Kim Kallstrom.
I was just going to say that.
Sorry, Serge. It was the joke. We're all thinking it, and I got there first. Just a bit of a weird signing for me. I think.
Can he play anything else? Can he play centre half or
Left.
back?
He can apparently play left back,
left
which
back
does
a
make
little
a little bit of sense. But as I say, he's still injured too. You know.
Yeah. So he can't play that.
I mean, I tweeted this earlier. Playing left
strange
left
danger.
back is the third most dangerous job after farming and construction in the UK because we're always getting injured.
Farming and construction.
It's the two most dangerous jobs in the UK, and then playing Arsenal left back is
Can we have a
third.
specific job in farming and construction?
I don't know.
You got far too interested in this very
I don't know.
Like milking cows or something? Like siving hay?
I don't even want to know what you're
Imagine
thinking
these
right now.
harvesters are quite dangerous. But this is an agricultural programme. This is an Arsenal football podcast.
Welcome to Gooner Farming TV.
Another farming magazine.
I think it'd be look, it's handy to have an extra resource in defence. It's a bit of a strange deal, but I think it's stranger for Southampton than it is for us.
I want to hear more about the farming.
This is the end of his contract.
But he's got 6 months left, and we paid $4 million to get him on loan. What was the point?
We were talking about this in the car yesterday. What's this about loan fees? It's me getting old. Like back in the
it's utterly
day,
bonkers.
when did the loan fee come
Fucking
from? Not where you
bonkers.
just loan a player and that you pay their wages. Now you got to pay a fee. Doesn't that mean you're paying a fee for a player? That's not a loan, is
I think
it?
it's just really bad salesmen.
Yeah, basically,
We're just
yeah.
basically.
What do you mean it's not a loan? If you take out a loan, you're getting money off someone. Money's involved.
You don't pay
You're
to get a
giving
loan,
someone.
do you?
Yeah.
You sort of say, I'll pay you 100 quid to lend to borrow 100 quid.
So this is coming from a man who's definitely taken out loans in the past.
And then changed his name.
To Layth Yousif.
I've never seen
Slander.
Dan concede
Slander.
defeat like that.
I didn't know where I was going.
Yeah, but why loan fees? It's one of those things that really annoys me. It's
We're
like
really
loan-
bad at doing transfers.
Yeah.
And we paid how much for
I wonder
every
what the
other player? It's
world
terrible.
record loan fee is. Like,
Well, it's probably us.
yeah, whatever we pay.
Everyone's just fallen
That's that'll be
asleep.
recent.
It'd probably be the fee that Inter Milan are paying for Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or PSG taking Mbappe. Basically.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. It's got to be Mbappe.
because
isn't
that
it?
was basically-
But anyway, back to
That's
Cedric,
Back to
who's,
Cedric.
who's definitely called Soares, not Suarez.
Cedric Suarez.
Yeah,
I'm
Paul,
done.
if anyone knows, it'd be Serge.
His name is Cedric Suarez.
There we go.
Soares.
He's not
Put
having
you,
it.
put you in place there then.
I mean,
Soares. Soares.
Well,
But do we call him Cedric? Do we call him Suarez? Like what?
Cedric.
We call him Cedric.
we
Okay.
definitely
Suarez.
call him
Sedge.
Twice.
Sedge.
What do you want, Cedric?
Big Sedge.
Whatever that is.
Did you just say whatever?
We call him bench warmer.
Do
Do you think
it's a
he's
good
actually gonna?
signing?
Do you think he's going to do anything?
I like him as a
I
player. I
Right,
think,
okay,
I've watched him in the Premier League for a few years. I think he's a decent,
Solid.
handy player. I think
Yeah.
he's not going to set the world on fire, but he's not going to make that many errors. I think he's quite a handy player. Personally, I think our
think he
defensive
could be a
situation,
sort of
we need as
Kolasinac?
many players as possible.
Yeah. Do we know if he's
What,
registered?
can't cross?
Do we know if he's registered for the Europa League as well? I suppose he
Yeah,
must be.
they're announcing the squads tonight.
Okay.
They've probably already been announced as we speak, but I think
They've been announced when you're watching this.
the talk was that Mari and Cedric would take the place of Chambers, who's obviously out for the rest of the season, and Mavropanos, who's now gone out on loan. So that was basically the only two changes to the squad.
Right. Yeah. So he will presumably feature if Arsenal progress in the Europa League, but yeah, it's not a long-term thing, is it?
This is where he proves us wrong and scores a winner in the final, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I mean,
I'd
he's
celebrate.
quality for Portugal.
Oh, that's good to know.
He's a very good player with the Portuguese team, and he's made a lot of important displays there. So
Yeah,
I think he's going to be quite a positive player for
He
us.
was in their 2016 side, wasn't he? At the Euros?
Yes, yeah.
In the most negative display of national team winning a tournament.
Against France. wasn't
Literally
it?
every team,
Yeah.
every game they played was very dull,
Yeah.
but it was grinding out results.
Well, yeah, I mean, Greece won the Euros in 2004 like that.
Yeah, against Portugal in the final.
Yeah. I spent a month in Portugal. I went to every England game.
I remember that
Lovely,
very
thanks.
sadly.
Anyway, memories.
So it goes Suarez. I think great signing. I think it'll work.
What about Mari?
I've not seen a huge amount. Like me and Dan said, we
saw him through
I've seen him
rather
I've seen him in 2
blurred
games.
vision.
Yeah, you were in the corner talking to a comedian, and me and Dan were trying to watch it on the TV, and it kept on flickering.
You two were just looking like comedians.
It was definitely the flickering TV that was the problem, yeah.
And then
I'm gonna do the booze.
watching him in the World Club final was literally the most boring game.
Yeah.
No, it was the best player for Flamingo in that game, but didn't really say much because it was just a rubbish game. But
Yeah. Was it 1-0, was it?
it was just very dull.
Yeah.
I mean,
an extra
Then again, I
time.
suppose
Yeah.
you only conceded 1 to a very good Liverpool side, so.
Well, do
that's
we know what his strengths are?
We did discuss this last
He's
week.
very
So.
talented.
Okay, where was I? Was I here? Was I just not listening?
I mean, Lee Dixon thinks he'll do well. Watch that on the channel. So,
I watched that video. up here. So
Please, next time he'll do well, he'll do well.
rather than repeating ourselves, let's move on. Obviously, the women's North London derby's coming up, isn't it?
Yes,
And obviously,
big Sunday, yeah.
Arsenal women lost, unfortunately, to Manchester City 2-0 at the weekend.
2-1.
2-1. So
2-1.
3 points ahead, though, aren't they, City?
Yeah. It's going to come down to goal difference, I think. But
Well, thankfully, we've got Minamo, who's one of the most ruthless goal scorers, so hopefully she's just going to absolutely crack on.
could she play instead of Lacazette?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Mate, I would love that.
Imagine one day that would happen. That'd be so cool, wouldn't it?
She's literally in front of goal. She's so ruthless. One of the best, most clinical goal scorers in the women's league.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
brilliant.
she's brilliant. Yeah.
And how she ended up being
And
voted
obviously-
5th in the world player.
Yeah.
She should have, I
No,
know,
It's a popularity contest.
I know that American player did really
Megan
well
Rapinoe, yeah.
off the field. So yeah, she's brilliant. I love her bits. But
'cause now
yeah,
we've
for
got-
me, I finished 5th. It was just like really.
But now we've
Should
got
have
Kim,
higher than
Kim
that.
Little's on double digits and Van der Donk just hit double
Kim
digits
Little's
as well.
out injured at the moment.
Yeah, but I'm saying in terms of the women's strike force, 3 of them are all in double
Yeah,
digits now. Which
yeah,
is,
and then they've got
you know,
people like Beth Mead, who's got double figures for assists.
And
Lisa Evans, who's doing really well.
and Nobbs always
Got a
seems
strong
to get a
team,
goal,
yeah.
doesn't she? She always sort
Me-
of pops up. Like,
We
she's
were at the
incredible.
first
We
North
went at
London
2-0,
derby, weren't we? Yeah, which was a really good
First Arsenal
performance.
side to win at the new
Well,
White
when
Hart
you
Lane,
went behind enemy lines, as it were.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
a good day out. That was.
yeah,
Yeah,
did a little vlog.
I mean,
for
the
that.
women's
In North
team
London's
is
third best
fantastic.
After
They
Arsenal,
are a
Barnet.
fantastic side. And I think at some point it'd be brilliant to see sort of how they can really crack on, and maybe the men's team can actually learn from them.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, they're just much more cohesive as a unit.
Don't make me get the Joe Montemurro dossier out.
I remember. Yeah.
We've been there and done that.
Again, I wrote a feature on the fact that Arsenal at Colney had Arteta come out do his press. I can't remember what game that was before. And
Chelsea,
literally, was it Chelsea? No, it was before.
Oh
Saturday
no, the
game.
women were playing Chelsea. Sorry.
Yeah. It was Arsenal women against Chelsea on the Sunday, and Arsenal were playing. I can't remember anyway. But Arteta came out. Literally 10 minutes later, Montemurro came out, and I wrote a feature just comparing the two basically. And Montemurro, Joe really impresses every time he speaks.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
basically.
He
He's
seems like a
brilliant.
really friendly guy as well.
Yeah, he's really good.
Comes
He's-
across as a really like nice.
Well,
friend.
Yeah, he's a
What
really,
was
really
it?
good
What was it he said to
communicator.
you after the game at Tottenham?
Yeah,
Ask your mate. No, he said to me, ask your mate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my highlights of the season. That was, yeah. I said to him something like, "Yeah, did you ask questions?" Like,
It was I asked
how
about
did
Leah Williamson, and they just said, ask your mate.
yeah, how did Leah Williamson feel about beating Spurs as a Gooner, generations of Gooner in her family? He goes, "Mate, ask your mate sat next to you," but obviously in an Australian accent.
Oh
but,
my god! Oh, my head hurts. You've ruined it.
As
But-
opposed to
Sorry,
an
Joe.
Indian
Sorry,
accent.
Joe.
No, it was Joe's brilliant. I love Joe at bits, and I know he got a bit of stick after that Chelsea game. I know it was such a big game, and it was a bit of a damaging defeat. But at the same time, people go, "No, he's got." It was like, who's saying that? Anyone who watches Arsenal women week in week out, anyone who knows anything about Arsenal women knows he's the right man for the job. It's not even a question. Anyone who's saying anything otherwise, anyone who's questioning him, have a word with yourself.
He was
seriously.
honest after that defeat, though. He came out and said, I got it wrong. It was my
Yeah,
fault, basically.
absolutely, yeah.
Credit to him for saying that. A
Yeah.
lot of managers wouldn't say
I know,
that.
yeah, he's an honest bloke. He's a clever bloke. He's a genuine bloke.
But
He's
fostered a
clued up with
really
his
good atmosphere,
tactics.
hasn't he? He's fostered a really
Yeah.
strong team atmosphere and team effort.
And there's big characters in that team as
Yeah,
well, you
yeah,
know, and
yeah.
he's got them all playing for him.
They've still got the Champions League to fight for as well. Obviously,
Paris,
PSG coming up in the next round.
Paris
you
in
know.
the spring, that could be a trip, couldn't it? Blimey.
It
I'm
will
not
be
sure.
a trip.
It's at Boreham Wood, isn't it?
Well, on Sunday, yeah.
Why
I'm going to be
isn't
there.
that game at the Emirates?
I know, honestly, every time
Well,
I
you
see
asked
Joe,
him, didn't you?
It was-
Yeah.
I asked him at the Colney that time as well, and it was that Rice Smile again, and he plays a dead bat, and it's almost like a running joke between me and him now. I'll always ask him why Arsenal aren't playing a big game at the Emirates. To cut a long story short, I think it's the fact that when Arsenal played Munich in the summer before Lyon at the Emirates, basically the men played Lyon, there was no one there.
Well,
basically.
there was still
And-
20,000 people there.
Yeah, there was
It
20,000 people in attendance, but there was never anywhere near 20,000 people for Arsenal women against Bayern Munich women at midday, basically.
No,
And I
there
think
was. That was the official announced attendance.
I know, but you know what they say about official attendances at Arsenal.
There's actually only two of us here, not
yeah,
four.
exactly. It was probably
You
about five.
suggested they lie?
Yes, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, well, when they were saying in the dying days of Emre, there's 60,000 people here. No, there's not.
Exactly. I actually tried to do a freedom
Looks
of
around. Nah.
I actually tried to do a freedom of information request on attendances, but that's a different story.
Oh.
Basically, yeah. So you know,
You have lovely hobbies, don't you?
basically, yeah. Joe was. I felt he felt that it was just not disrespectful, but just really disappointing that there wasn't a full house, or at least as many for the men as the women. So the sort of second part of that question that I was sort of asking him and looking for an answer from him was, basically, do you think they should play at the Emirates? And B, should it be a double header or should it be a standalone game? And judging by what Joe said to me, he wants it as a standalone game.
They
but
deserve
I don't
it.
think
They
they're
deserve
ready
it.
for a standalone game this season. Is basically what he was saying.
But
I think they are,
their
because
performances
you
are
look at
definitely
Spurs,
good enough.
38,000 against Arsenal. Birmingham have beaten their record this season. Man United have, West Ham have, Chelsea have. All of them are setting new attendance records every game this season practically. Arsenal women deserve to play at the Emirates. They basically just got to market it properly, announce it 2 or 3 months in
And the
advance.
ticket prices are
So cheap, which is
value.
great. There's a real family atmosphere there. It's just, there's nothing not to like about it.
And,
And
yeah.
Arsenal should be doing it because they were, and they still are at the forefront of the game. They were the first women's team really to go sort of professional, or have a professional outlook at the very least, with Vic Akers in the 80s. They've won everything. They deserve so much
they're
respect.
the most
And for
successful
me,
team, aren't they?
most successful team. And for me, they should be playing at the Emirates at least
Definitely.
one game this season.
Definitely.
basically.
I think, and as soon
And
as
I'll keep
there's-
asking those questions to Joe until
do it.
until Arsenal do it, basically. So yeah.
as soon as there's a demand, there's got to be games.
But
at
there is a
the Emirates,
demand.
and there is
There
now,
is a
and
demand,
there is,
yeah,
and there
yeah,
is,
yeah.
and there is. So
Our very own Jake
they've got
Gordon goes quite
recognised.
often, doesn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah, Jay was at Spurs as well, wasn't he? Yeah,
He's gone to
yeah.
quite a few games, and the atmosphere there is always positive.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think the Emirates. I would love to see them at the Emirates.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Well
They've
said,
got to
yeah.
recognise it. There is a demand. They've got to recognise
Yeah,
it. So,
absolutely.
And also,
Absolutely.
they actually seem to play more attacking, interesting football than
Wow.
most teams.
So that Spurs game was one of my favourites of the season, best games of the
Yeah.
season. That where Arsenal just bossed the game basically. They were brilliant. It was 3,000 Gooners in the way in as well. It was just
Brilliant, yeah.
wonderful.
Incredible.
Yeah,
That was a
yeah,
good day.
Yeah, and then talking about there's FA Youth Cup game on Thursday at Bournemouth. The under-8 teams are playing Blackburn Rovers. I'm going to be there for that one. Go along, watch it. Pick out a star of the future, basically.
Miguel
That's why-
Aziz, 100%.
Yeah. I watched him when he was 16. He's a good player, and he's got to kick on basically. But there's so many young players there.
It's
who are
good
worth
fun to go and
watching.
watch the youngsters
Yeah,
sometimes.
definitely, yeah.
We watched them in
really-
pre-season, didn't we, at Hitchin
Yeah.
Town? Obviously,
Yeah,
our
yeah.
local club.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of really, really good young players there.
It's nice for us as well being able to look back and say, "Oh, I remember Joe Willock and
Yeah,
I
Emil
remember
Smith-Rowe.
Sack, I remember Smith Rowe."
Yeah, well, we always say about
Yeah.
Smith Rowe in the Youth Cup game at Colchester, didn't we? I
Yeah,
mean, that was
yeah, that
kind of,
finally-
yeah, and he's just gone from strength to strength.
Oh, I remember seeing him at Bishop
Honestly,
Auckland.
that is my top trump. When everyone goes,
Bishop
Did you drive to Bishop Auckland on a Friday night during the Beast from the East to watch an under-18s team play?
No, because I'm
against
sane.
Middlesbrough in Bishop Auckland in County Durham.
No, because I'm sane
No.
and I'm not
So there's my
mad.
top
Are
trump.
you feeling all right?
I wasn't
No.
by the time I got back. It was about 4 in the morning.
Literally used that a million times.
It'll be a couple of million by the end of the
Did
season.
you drink all the Bovril in there?
Drunk the bottle dry, basically.
They just put him on a
So-
drip and sat him in the press box.
It was literally so
Bovril.
cold. I was
Were you
so
the one in
wrapped.
the press box?
Yes, but yeah. I mean, there was obviously Bishop Auckland's social media team, because every club's got a social media team,
course,
and they were really friendly. It was great. Obviously, John Williamson were there.
Yeah.
A couple of other people would go every game, basically. But it was so cold. I literally had myself wrapped up, and the only thing that wasn't sort of showing, or the only thing that was showing, was my eyeballs, and my eyeballs were cold. That's how cold it was, basically. So
Ninja
anyway,
Layth.
To sum that up, it was cold.
it was cold. Yeah.
All right. Well, we mentioned Emil Smith Rowe. He did quite well on Saturday, didn't he? For Huddersfield, obviously, he's out there
Yeah.
on loan.
The assist, the goal.
Yeah.
That was 3-2.
Well, yeah, they were 3-0 down. He almost, sparked a brilliant fight back.
really
Didn't quite get
positive
there in the
to see,
end,
isn't it?
but yeah, he's doing well.
Championship could be really the making of him, actually.
Oh, you said this in the
Also-
transfer video, didn't you?
Yeah, so it's a really important league
Yeah.
for people to go to. And isn't Willock's brother now at Huddersfield?
Chris Willock.
Yeah,
Is he really? I didn't know
I
that.
think he's at West Brom.
He went on lead on loan from Benfica.
Oh.
So, yeah, he went to Benfica. I was trying to figure
Oh,
out.
wow.
There you
I
go.
To Huddersfield. So now
Things
he's
you
playing-
didn't know.
now He's playing with the other Willock.
Wow.
Good work.
Maverick
There's
Panos did
three
well,
of them,
didn't
isn't
he?
there?
Yeah, he had a win at Nürnberg, had a clean sheet. And my God, did he celebrate?
What was that against Hamburg? Was it?
Yeah.
No. They lost to Hamburg last weekend
Yeah.
4-1. Not a
Right.
great performance, but he played this weekend, played the full 9 minutes, and they beat Sandhausen 2-0.
Okay, brilliant.
And he posted some quite good stats. I know you're a fan of stats, Layth.
Stats
Yeah, obviously kept a
fans.
clean sheet. As Serge said, he looked a bit mental in one of the photos that they took him in. Yeah, good to see the lone players doing well. John Jules
Yeah.
doing okay as well.
Quite good
so.
to see him actually getting some minutes because he was out for a long time, Dino. So it's nice to see him getting like full match time. So hopefully,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Hopefully we could get him back at some point, sort of full firing. 'cause
Yeah.
Obviously, defence is something we desperately need. So
Absolutely, yeah.
The more
Saliba's back from injury as well. He's doing okay.
Good,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Well, so
all
John
round
Jules-
good for the loan watch.
What-
John Jules, he was at Lincoln. So what was that 1-0 at Southend?
No, they
wasn't it?
lost 2-1.
They
It
lost
was a
2-1, didn't they?
96-minute goal, I think.
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
But
What
he's
about,
already scored there, so he's
I was just
doing
going
all
to
right.
say, what do we think about the fact that Nick didn't get another loan?
Who?
Good.
Okay,
I'm glad.
Nketiah, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't say it
Nketiah?
properly.
Yeah.
I can't say it properly.
He got his goal. He got his
You
first
say
goal of the
really
season. He got his first goal of the season against Bournemouth, didn't he?
He did.
Great.
And,
I'm glad he's
the
on Arsenal.
atmosphere around him was.
Yeah,
was
you were in the way,
electric.
weren't you?
He's
Yeah,
got
yeah,
he's got a
They're
big
really
role to
going
play,
for
hasn't he?
it.
Yeah.
I
In
think
terms of the cup competitions, he's
He-
going to be
he's
really
such an
important.
important player for us. I think he's going to be around for quite a while. Judging by the way how he's playing and how much we love him in the away end, he is such a good.
He
player.
strikes me as, obviously, don't want to put him on that pedestal yet, but he strikes me as a bit of an Ian Wright. Just inside the box, he's just clinical, you know.
Might be saying that too early.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, I'm not.
Yeah.
In terms of a similar kind of style.
No,
Obviously, he's not that
yeah.
quality,
Yeah.
but that similar kind of
He has-
style.
I think
yeah.
I said that about him when we saw him in the
He
Premier
hasn't.
League 2.
He hasn't got the personality of Ian Wright, and Ian Wright was more
think
than.
anyone does.
No, yeah,
No
he
one
was
does.
more than a finisher as well. He
Can't
did
see
add a
him.
lot to the play outside the box as well. He wasn't just a fox in the box, but he was brilliant at scoring goals as well.
you love him,
Eddie's
I can't see him when I'm a celeb.
yeah. Eddie's nowhere near that
That's the
moment.
benchmark of any good player. That's how you master
Can he
that.
do it? I'm a celeb on a Tuesday night.
No, it's really
Honestly.
positive to see him back in the team. I think it's quite a good thing he didn't go on loan. 'Cause
Yeah, I was gonna
he's-
ask,
yeah.
He spent his time
Definitely.
out in the cold, and I think that experience with Bielsa probably was a little bit upsetting for him because it started off so well, and then
Yeah.
obviously he's just not as good as Patrick Bamford.
I don't imagine he
Yeah.
will learn much from Patrick Bamford, to be
No.
fair.
God, no.
So, I
So what
think it's
about
quite good.
El Neni then? Did he play this?
Well, go
weekend?
on, Serge. That's your one, mate. I'll just leave it
How's
to
he
it.
doing?
He's still cracking
Besiktas.
up with Besiktas.
he get on?
He's not playing every game. I haven't watched the Turkish league recently, so I
Okay.
can't give you too much information. But I still quite like him.
Cool.
I know you lot really don't. I know Dan specifically doesn't.
What about Ossie Tutu?
He's not played many games.
Hasn't played since before
Not
Christmas.
played
has he, I
since
think?
before Christmas,
Yeah.
as you say. Yeah, he's not
And who else
getting
is-
as many games as
And
possible.
who else is
so
out there at the moment? That's about it, isn't
I
it?
think that's it. Yeah, in
Yeah.
terms of
It's
load
surprising.
watch.
Surprisingly
Yeah.
large number of players we got.
Mkhitaryan
yeah.
as well. He's out injured at the moment.
Yeah,
Shock.
he's not been playing at all.
What injuries he got? What did he,
A thigh injury, I think it was.
he didn't fall off his wallet or anything then.
Oh, the other one's the best. But
Unsurprisingly, he's still won Armenian Player of the Year for 2019.
He's won it for the last 14
so,
years or something. Isn't he?
Legend.
Only Armenian player to ever play in the Premier League.
thank you very
There
much,
you
Serge.
go.
Armenian Premier League legend. Mkhitaryan.
Let's do a podcast.
I
on
don't
that.
think have we got any notes? Have you boys got any notes?
In
the absence of
in
Glenn's
the absence
notes.
of Glenn, there's no notes. But I heard you went out last night, so
It was the Super Bowl, and as you know, I'm a man that loves any and all sports,
just sports.
just any sports.
Any
Go
sports.
sports!
It was.
I love sports, mate.
Yeah, it was.
What I heard you had a bit of a late night.
Well, because obviously it didn't finish till 4 o'clock in the morning, so I had to sit there. It was the bitter end. My eyes were barely open because was sitting there drinking my cup of tea in Bovril and being a good boy.
I'm not sure what was in the tea.
Do you know what? I've got. You know, you mentioned the Super Bowl. I've got some notes.
Oh,
I watched the first 2 quarters, and I thought, this is quite entertaining. I had no clue what was going on. But the main thing that strikes me is they kick the ball once every half an hour. Why is it called football? Why is it? You wouldn't call handball football, would you?
It's the most English thing you've ever said.
Why is it called football?
Who won anyway? Was it the Kaiser Chiefs? Was it?
Kaiser Chiefs,
Or was it Franz Ferdinand?
the Kansas City Chiefs.
Did Donald
Who
Trump
don't
do
even play in Kansas.
Didn't Donald Trump do a tweet on that and he just got completely the wrong
Well, no,
geographical
he
location?
said, yeah.
It was a different state.
Oh,
They
honestly,
play in
so-
Missouri, and he's basically said, well done
In
to the state of
Kansas.
Kansas. Yeah.
Oh,
It was, yeah, but he also put a $20 million advert out during the Super Bowl.
Did he?
Well,
What, saying vote for him?
Well, just,
Utterly depressing.
but,
You enjoyed the halftime show, didn't you, Serge?
I did, but it made me think. Can you imagine, at the FA Cup final or the Champions League final,
No.
just stopping for 45 minutes to have a concert?
You can
It
fit.
is
I'll tell you-
literally mental.
Tell you what, you could fit a few beers in at half time there. couldn't you?
I mean,
45
you
minutes.
probably do anyway.
But the idea of stopping a sporting event to
Yeah.
go, all right, get the stage on, lads. Let's have some singing. It's just really weird.
That was, they run out from separate corners before the game, and then we wait 20 minutes.
Yeah.
What's the point?
I'll tell you what, I would like to go to one of those games. I've been to
Lee
basketball
Dixon was there,
games.
wasn't he?
Yeah,
So-
yeah, our friend Lee Dixon, he was there. He's brilliant.
friend.
If you're watching Lee, top man. Glad
Arsenal-
you got in.
Arsenal friends.
Friends. But, yeah, I've been to an NBA game. I went to Madison Square Garden to watch the New York Knicks.
That's a fantastic
Knicks.
venue, isn't it?
Yeah, but it was so weird because
Do they call that football because it's played with its hands?
yeah, might as well be. But they basically, what I found really weird was there was obviously loads of aficionados, proper, people who writing notes and watching the game. But as you walk sort of further back, it just felt like you were at a market. It was just people wandering around eating large hot dogs and not even watching the game.
Sounds like the
America.
yeah, while the game was going on. I wonder if it's the same with
That's
American
the front
football.
rows at Old Trafford.
Yeah, very good point. Yeah.
It's quite jovial atmosphere because it's a 4-hour event, or like non-Super Bowl games will be like 3 hours, a little bit quicker. So it's quite a jovial event.
Blimey.
I do like the whole build-up around it. They make it feel like it really is important.
I would like to go to that one day just to see what it's like, basically. But yeah, the opportunity to get absolutely hammered must be immense. It's brilliant. Like when I lived in Australia, I used to go and watch Aussie rules.
That is
football.
brutal.
And it
That
goes on
is
for 3.5 hours,
brutal.
and you can actually sit with a beer in your hand watching the game. First of all, I was
You
like,
can
what?
in Liège, can't you, sir?
Yeah. I was like, what? You can drink and watch sport. Someone's trusted me.
It's
like,
great. The
obviously you can do
caretakers
that
don't
quickly.
care.
Yeah. But I just got hammered. I didn't know what the score was. Didn't even know what the names of the teams were. But it was brilliant. I loved it. Sydney Swans, just because they were red and white. They were my team.
Sydney Swans.
Yeah, in
It's
Aussie
not very
rules football.
intense name, is it?
Well, yeah. They had red and white scarf. I've still got it somewhere. But
And the
I
Adelaide
digress.
Anteaters.
Well, if anybody's still watching after that, if any Arsenal fans are still watching,
They're still waiting for Glenn. He's not here.
yeah, we'll try and track down Glenn, despite his lack of smartphone.
If anyone has
seen
seen Glenn, please call this number.
We'll send
He's just standing outside Ozil's house with a boombox. I want you back.
How many times it's a boom box?
we'll send some smoke signals or something. Glenn. It's the only way to get in touch with him.
We love you, Glenn.
Carry a
Shout out to
pigeon on his
Glenn
way.
again. He's not watching, but well, enjoyed that, boys. Good chat. Thanks very much for watching. Comment below any of your thoughts on what we said. I know we've asked for comment a few times, and like the video as well. It really does help us. And also subscribe. We've had a big boost of subscribers recently after our Lee Dixon interview. So welcome to all our new subscribers, and thanks for watching. Cheers.